Maybe I'm crazy, maybe I'm crazy, maybe I'm not, maybe I'm not.
All right, EARL Watson is back.
Hey!
My fiance and NBA legend, 13-year NBA veteran.
First guest from Maybe I'm Crazy podcast.
Yes.
Which is very relevant.
What was that?
Yes, very first guest. When we was in here, we had these white walls and it looked like insane asylum.
It's evolved a little bit. And it's our 100th episode, so it was appropriate that we have you back on.
Keep it in the family.
And
I'm back every 99.
No, you've been on like
this is the third
4
time.
times. It might be 4.
I'm back every 36.
It's maybe the 4th time. So one every 25 episodes. That seems fair.
LA traffic.
Yeah,
We got
exactly.
it. Yeah.
Okay, so let's start with something that we'll probably argue about. Which I think we've probably had this conversation before, but there's a list. I'm not exactly even sure where it originated, but someone put this list out yesterday of the top 50 greatest rappers of all time. And you've seen this.
Yeah, I've seen that.
Yeah. You know, I'm assuming, based
like
off of
that.
how I know you, I'm assuming that you disagree with most that's on this list.
Someone has to claim the list.
Most people know.
yeah,
It's this guy 50-50 in entertainment. This guy's try to meet his side. I mean, he's doing the right things to get spoken about. So
Well, it's list season because it's
exactly.
August and it's kind of like a slow time for sports
Right.
and still baseball regular season. There's no basketball. Free agency's over. Football hasn't really officially started, even though now it just started.
list season.
And so it's list season, yes. And they've got the whole internet flipping out. We'll just do their top 5 because we don't have time to go through all of this. But it's wrong, the top 5. But it's Jay-Z, Nas, Joe Budden,
Okay, keep going. Keep reading.
Styles P, and Black Thought rounds up his top 5 rappers of all time.
Now, let's talk about the variables in a rapper, right? Because there's multiple things that go into someone rapping. One of the main things is spitting, right? So, like, that's why it's like Black Thought and all those other people, like, you know, could possibly be in the top 5.
So someone actually claimed this list.
I mean, that person, yeah. I mean, he's out here.
It's a real person.
I mean, ours probably got more heat than when he put it out, but yeah.
Okay.
It wasn't our creation.
Right.
Okay.
So we've decided to do just top 5 for time purposes.
Okay.
That is my top 5. I will read it for everyone. Number 1,
Earl enjoys top 5
Tupac. I don't think he's gonna have. I am gonna. You haven't said anything yet, but I think you're gonna agree with most of it. I'll probably be wrong.
You're telling your fiance that you think he's going to agree with something before he's even said anything. Do you see the plot problem in that?
Tupac, Weezy, Jay-Z, Biggie, Kanye, 6 Man's J. Cole, and I know he's gonna have a problem with this, but I have to do it anyway because I thought long and hard about should I put a female in the top 5.
Right.
But my top 5, like the first female that I would put in my top 50 would be Lil' Kim. And there are, if we're just going off rappers, like, you know, we all about equality,
Right,
okay?
of course. Then
I can't put her above a lot of other people on the list. So I have to shout out Cardi B. And that's all I'm going to say. What is your top 5?
Cardi B's tough. I mean, for me, like, top 5 rappers. It's like top 5 basketball players. Right?
Okay.
The greatest skilled players aren't the best players in the game. Like, who's the best
facts.
skilled in the NBA right now? I'm going to say Kyrie.
Okay.
Right?
Yeah.
Is he the best player in the NBA?
No.
No.
definitely
No,
not.
but he's good enough, right?
Right.
He's great enough. So for me, top 5 rappers, I don't have a top 5. Like, I don't. It's like mood. Like,
yeah, and that's why I think it's being
That's
discussed
fair. You know
so
what I mean?
much
Like-
because it's so based off of what your style is.
Right.
Like you might feel like Common should be in the top 5, or
might have that
Mos
feeling.
Def. Like you that could be your vibe, or you feel like Snoop or Dr. Dre, or a lot of people are yelling about Eminem.
Or
Ice Cube.
if you talk about skill, Eminem is definitely beyond.
Yeah.
If you talk about like knowledge and depth, you got to put Nas and Tupac in a separate category for culture. You know, if you talk about, for me, like if I really want to feel inspired, I gotta put on some Jay-Z. I gotta put on some Drake. Like I gotta put on somebody who can like make my mind start thinking inspirational business movement, just growth outside of the hood. If you talk about like creativity, Kanye. Like I gotta listen to some Kanye. If I want to go straight, if I'm about to go hoop, I'm gonna put on some T.I. I'm gonna put on some Lil Wayne.
Bring him out.
Right? I'm gonna put on some NWA, that entire group. Right? I'm gonna put it all on, and if I really got some problems, I'm throwing on Young Jeezy. I know I'm going straight to jail. Young Jeezy. You put on some Young Jeezy, some 8-Ball MJG.
On this list.
You know what I mean? Like, it's gonna get you.
8-Ball's on there.
It's gonna
Oh,
get
yeah,
you
Jeezy's 33.
crazy amped. And you talk about old school West Coast.
Yeah.
Who's really a lyricist and beyond skill, the DLC. Like, I got to put on the formula.
Ooh.
Like, I got to listen to him. He's legendary. Like, injury is the only thing that stopped him. Like, car crash, right?
True.
And then you got to, DJ Quick. Like, it's so many people. Like, even Twista is cold. Like, he's cold. He's a cold lyricist. And if you want to take it really old school, you talk about, like, Dickies and T-shirts. You gotta go Scarface.
Oh, okay.
That's close. Where you from?
I you said go old school.
Style.
Old school. I was like,
So,
I wouldn't
okay,
think
you know what I'm
it's
saying?
like
So the
Dickie
problem,
t-shirts.
the problem with most of these lists is that what is the criteria? Like when we do sports lists, like you said, basketball, like
Right.
who's the greatest of all time? Are you talking about
Can't forget Outkast.
biggest winners? Well, yeah, Andre 3000.
Andre
He's at
3000.
17.
And Big Boy. Like,
We're talking lyricists.
Yeah.
Andre 2000 in my top 5.
yeah, you just so it's I don't have a top 5. I have a mood. Like whatever mood I'm in, that's
What mood you in right now?
I'm in an obedient mood. You know what I mean?
What you put on for
You know what I'm
obedience?
saying?
Kanye?
That's old school R&B. You know what I mean?
Okay,
That's
okay.
obedient. But I'm leaving here. I'm going to the gym. I'm gonna probably throw on some. I was listening to the DLC on the way over here. You know what I mean? Honestly, so when I leave and go to the gym, I don't know. I might put on Lil Wayne because Lil Wayne to me is like he changed rap to me as far as just releasing free music.
Yeah.
Like just releasing it. And then if you really want to go like business, you can't forget like Master P.
Yeah.
Like his innovation.
No
like,
limit.
how he continued to build and he's continuing to build like Puffy, like the entire movement.
Right.
It's just Dr. Dre. Like it's just it's no top 5 in rap. It's like it's no top 5 in basketball.
But that's why everyone keeps debating it. So for me, it was like, how many times have I been emotionally moved by some of this rapper's art, right? Because music is art, really. And,
Right.
I took a, art appreciation course in
course, shouts
philosophy,
out.
art
Yeah.
philosophy, my senior year of college. It was the hardest class I ever took. But that's what it's all about, right? Like, art is supposed to move you. And
Right.
that's what we're talking about, mood.
if you're talking about move and you're talking about dancing, then you got to go like E40 Mac Dre.
Woo!
You
said
like,
it.
That's on Haller's
if,
list.
If you want to move, like I'm
Yeah,
just
true.
saying, hip hop can't be put in a box. Like it's no.
Sorry. Let's get high fuel.
You can't put hip hop in a box, man. Like
Yeah.
it's so big. Like it evolves bigger than checking boxes and like put in categories. Like
Yeah, it's too intricate. It's like there should be like a rap icon top 5 list, a lyricist top list, a song creator top list, because Kanye should be in the top of a song creator.
I don't think Tupac and Biggie should be in anyone's conversation. They're legends. They're like one of the they're iconic
Pioneers to the
don't
fullest
even
extent.
don't even rate them. They're beyond numbers. They're like I'm gonna tell this story. I'm 1997. I'm coming straight from the hood in Kansas City. I'm going on campus at UCLA. I'm thinking I'm about to have complete culture shock.
Mm-hmm.
Everyone was blasting out of their dorm rooms, all eyes on me.
Woo!
I was totally shocked. I've never seen so many non-black people listen to rap in my life. It blew my mind. That's when I knew how big rap was. Because in the hood, you're like almost in this bubble and you really think you're the only one that can connect to these lyrics. And it's not true.
Right.
And you see other people connecting. And from that moment on, I knew like my idea of Tupac being a GOAT was on point. Rap is too big.
Yeah, that's why I think a lot of people are mad about Eminem too. All right, so that's something else that's being discussed as far as the list goes. Is the NBA put out their all-decade team, right? Now the first team all-decade was James Harden, LeBron, Steph Curry, Kevin Durant, and Kawhi Leonard. Do you have any problems with those?
I think those are all great players, but still, most of them are still evolving.
So it's 2000. The parameters for this list was 2000, basically 2010, 2020.
Right.
Now, what everyone was flipping out about was the third team, which had LaMarcus Aldridge, Dwayne Wade, Kobe, and Paul George, and I'm missing one other one. Chris Paul.
It's only two debatable who should be on the third team.
No, Giannis. I'm sorry. Yeah, Chris Paul's on the second team.
On that third team, you can't have D Wade and Kobe on the third team.
Okay, yeah. So that's why everyone was freaking out.
Right.
Now they're arguing that Kobe was sort of on a decline at that point in his career. I mean, For the decade, he averaged 24.7 points, 5.1 rebounds, and 4.8 assists per
Hell of a
game.
decline.
So
7 All-Stars.
I mean, it's
4
essentially
All-NBAs.
equivalent to what KD and well more points per game than Kawhi, but obviously
Right.
that's not Kawhi's game.
It's too much Kobe shade. Like,
Yeah, okay, so that's what I'm
where's
asking
this
you.
coming from?
Where's this Kobe shade coming from?
I'm not sure where it's coming from. Maybe because he missed like the social media generation. Like, where's all this shade coming from?
I agree with you. Kobe shade was a thing a couple summers ago when LeBron was coming here, but this is just an NBA article getting put out by the numbers
By
and
someone who's never guarded Kobe.
at that point in time, based on the people in the top 10, it's a compliment that Kobe is in this because he was on his way out during this decade and he had numbers to prove it. So I don't think it's as egregious if you're looking at the rest of these numbers here, but yeah, Kobe deserves his flowers.
Numbers never tell us the full story.
True.
Like, numbers don't tell the story. I say this all the time. Okay, so you can put it like this, since we talking about list, right? Who would you be most afraid of at the end of the game situation? Would they have that? You have to play defense. There's no help. Who would you be most afraid of in that list?
Yeah, I mean, Kobe
No.
Bryant.
Who?
Oh, me?
Yeah, you got to sit down. You got to guard. Who are you most afraid of? Like, damn, like, this is like
yeah, like games
LeBron
on the
James.
line.
games on the line.
LeBron
Yeah,
James.
no,
You're
Kobe.
more afraid of LeBron than you are
Kobe,
Kobe?
Wade, and then LeBron in that order.
Kobe, Wade, then LeBron. Game on the line.
Yes.
Game on the line.
Okay, yeah, I'm not.
Matter of fact,
sounding good.
you're the teammate. Who you want to take the last shot in that entire list?
Kobe.
So how's he third team? Like, I mean, for real, like you got to think about it. Like, for me, I say this all the time. We would be in huddles, right? And we facing the Lakers, and you get to a huddle. Like the game, the NBA game is it just flows into the last 3 minutes of a game.
Mm-hmm.
If you're a true basketball artist and you love the basketball, just the plays, the diagrams, the nuances of the game, you love the last three minutes of a game. That's when the game slows down as a player. That's when you get really excited and the adrenaline goes to the highest point.
Mm-hmm.
So you would get in that huddle, and if you up 1, if you up 2, or if you need a stop, or if it's a big play defensively you have to make, you get to your coach and you be like, look, we cannot let Kobe catch the fucking ball. Like, he can't catch it. If he catches it, we have to run 2 at him. I would rather get beat by Derek Fisher or another player than to let Kobe Bryant hit that shot.
Right.
That's why Derek Fisher has so many monumental shots, because
Yes.
teams made sure Kobe couldn't touch it.
Robert Horry as well.
Right? Teams made
Yeah.
sure. So, like, when you get in that game, it's different with him, because he's been in the gym since 2 p.m. making 1,000 shots before the first team bus even gets there at 4:30. And that's just in the afternoon. Like, knowing Kobe the way I know Kobe, he woke up at 5 to make another 500 to 1,000, went to the shoot around, went home in his chopper,
Yeah.
took a nap, took his chopper to Staples, and then made another 1,000. And you get in layup lines, you get there early, you look down at the other end of the court, you want to see who's out there working out, and you realize, damn, Kobe's never out here. So it's like a mental, like, kind of like a mental trick he does on other players. He basically mind fucks you. Like, yo, he didn't take any shots before the game, and he comes out and just gave you 60. Right? It's all psychological warfare with Kobe.
Because he's the Mamba.
Because it's just the way he is. But, like,
Okay.
you know, so, like, for me, it's like that list is the list. It's obviously someone that's never defended Kobe. I would love to see the players list. Like,
Okay.
well, let's see what their list is. I don't even remember the last 10 years. But, like, you know, 2010 to 20, I don't remember. All I know is whenever 24 steps on the court, he is a danger.
So looking at the all-decade team, first team, who's Kobe replacing? It's Steph Curry.
One of the 5, you choose.
I mean, I'm replacing him. I'm replacing James Harden with him.
Yes,
Kobe.
yeah, I like that.
I
Yeah, of
don't
course.
think any player on that first 5 would be, like, disappointed in placing Kobe. Like,
Kobe replacing him,
being
yeah.
replaced by
Yeah.
Kobe. None of those players would feel slighted if Kobe was on that list, because
True.
they understand the respect that players have for Kobe. This Kobe shade not even being in the GOAT debate, to me, is crazy.
Yeah, Kobe is really never
That
brought.
is
He's
cra-
never brought up.
That
in
is
the- in the
crazy.
debate.
I don't know what this is, but
Tim Duncan is also never brought up, but it's Tim Duncan.
Don't
Like,
get started
he's
with-
the quietest.
There's so many people that
star.
aren't brought up in this argument, but I mean,
There's a crucial part of a dynasty,
Lakers
but
hate's a part
Kobe
of it
is
as
never
well,
brought
I
up in
think.
that conversation. Why?
I don't know why. I don't get it. I don't understand it. I don't know. Maybe Kobe wasn't nice to people in interviews.
You know what I think? That might be
Okay.
part of it,
Yeah.
his persona. But I also think there might be a little bit of when Kobe first came in the league, he was kind of compared to Jordan. So he was kind of like Diet Jordan.
Right.
So a lot of people look at Kobe's career like he was great, but he wasn't as good as Jordan. So he gets like put under whatever is next and different than Jordan, which would be LeBron.
And also within this last decade, stars have to kiss up to media to get respect and get airplay and get like talking about. And Kobe came from the generation where you just had to go out there and ball on the court. He wasn't kissing nobody's ass to people to say he was the GOAT.
I've said this before. For a 17-year-old to be drafted to the Lakers, and the mentality you have to succeed in Los Angeles under pressure, win championships, be criticized, not having social media to defend yourself. Whatever the paper is printed, it is printed, it is read. Whatever is said on TV, it is said. You don't have social media, you don't have Twitter, you don't have Instagram to say this is my narrative. Kobe survived that. I think it's easier now to survive those challenges because I can quickly jump on social media and say my narrative. I can quickly tweet back. I can quickly put people around me to get my word out beyond the press.
Right.
Like Kobe survived that in Los Angeles and brought championships home doing it while creating a legacy that he has to be mentioned in that GOAT debate. Like this shit has to stop. Like
and the news cycle
I'm starting
didn't
a campaign.
Flip over the way that it does now too.
It's
So he's
hashtag
still
Kobe.
It's hashtag this shit has to stop.
Oh,
like you know what I
my
mean?
gosh.
That campaign is out there. It's Kobe. We don't even say his last name. It's just Kobe.
But he's not the GOAT.
Yes.
But he should be in the
It's
GOAT
Earl,
conversation.
stop.
No,
It's
no.
I mean,
It's Michael. But another hashtag that is going on right now is Free Melo.
yes.
So Carmelo Anthony has this
Great
very
segue.
intense
Just
reputation. Just like there's a narrative around Carmelo Anthony that
Yeah.
he didn't take care of his body. He didn't evolve with the game. He's not a good teammate. He's not
me guy.
he's a me guy, whatever. Like all very kind of a selfish narrative around Carmelo Anthony. Where does that come from, first of all? And do you think that Melo should be on a team next year?
Who's the one superstar in basketball that you can say is not a me guy?
Come on now, LeBron James.
Is he?
He's leading
I
in
would say
assists.
I would say Steph Curry is not a me guy.
You guys think you can be a superstar and not be a me guy?
Okay, that's a different question. But we're talking about mentality, first thought. LeBron's criticized
So the
about
me
passing.
Guy, the me guy, when you say a me guy, it doesn't mean that you're not selfish and you're not like inherently selfish trying to be great. The me guy thing is I would rather get 40 and we lose.
As Chauncey said, 30. He was too obsessed with trying to score 30 points.
That's perception.
Right.
Okay.
That's perception. And what's crazy is when Chauncey came into the league, he was perceived to be a player who wanted to score more than be a point guard, which is why he came off the bench and was traded so many times, and he came off the bench behind Terrell Brandon. And then when Terrell Brandon gets hurt in Minnesota, he becomes a starter, and he figured it out. So, like, it's a process for every player.
True.
Like, I was Melo's teammate in Denver. I never felt like Melo was a me guy. I feel like Melo was trying to figure it out. He immediately got his team into the playoffs. He won a national championship in Syracuse. So you can't tell me he's not a winner.
Right.
Right.
The only problem he had is navigating his career. And this is where players have to be very careful. If you continue to be the lead guy or the other guy on a team or in a program that doesn't win, you quickly get labeled as no value to your teams moving forward. Because he stayed on teams that wasn't really good enough, and he had to do all the scoring because the roster wasn't put together with another superstar.
Right.
As he continued to age, like Allen Iverson, he's now seen as a guy that can't help my team because all he does is score. And I am afraid, as a general manager, as a coach to have a conversation with him and say, you need to evolve into this, which is not the main score. Because I don't want that confrontation.
Right.
So when you have NBA players and you have superstars, the hardest thing to do is to tell them the truth. That's why Hubie Brown says the greatest sin you can ever make to a player is to tell them a lie on and off the court. And it's difficult. A lot of coaches don't have those open conversations. They're like, yeah, keep scoring, good job, keep playing. They go back into the office and be like, shit, he never passes. Tell him. How many coaches had a chance to tell him? How many coaches have he played for? Why didn't they say, this is how you become a player in this league and play the right way, win the right way, and have longevity in this league? I had one early, UB Brown. Then I had another one later. You know, like you just got Jerry Sloan. You just got to, you're lucky and you're blessed if you have those in your career. But how many of those coaches still exist? Pop?
Yeah.
Doc Rivers? Like, Kyrie kind of said the same thing. Like, I wish our roles were defined. He said it in Boston.
Yeah.
Melo said the same thing in his interview. I kept asking what is needed of me, and no one never really told me. So you just kind of like, instead of dealing with it in confrontation, one-on-one, like two men, they just kind of like put you away.
But how can he get back into the NBA and be effective if there are no coaches brave enough to coach him?
I don't think Melo fits the Lakers. Right? That whole situation is transit. We don't know what's going to happen.
Right.
I think he fits Doc Rivers. I think he fits Coach Popovich, a coach that's going to say, look, I'm going to sit you down. You're going to respect me. This is what I need. This is all I need. But on the other end, you're going to have to rebound. You're going to have to play defense. You're going to have to maybe, learn how to switch out and guard ones, twos, and threes. And you're going to be the greatest offensive version of Draymond Green. Right? Because you got to respect. I got to respect your shot, but you better learn to play make. And here's the video, and here's the blueprint to it. We're gonna watch film right here. Instead of the one dribble pull up, when the ball reverses to you at the top of the key, we're not doing that. You're gonna take it, you're gonna drive, get a piece of the paint, and make a play for the weak side, or get to the rim and get fouled. This is the only way you're going to play here, and this is how you're gonna help us do something special. Melo will do it. He's one of my. It's a list of teammates, like greatest teammates. He's one of my favorite teammates ever. Wow. He's a gym rat. He loves the hoop. He doesn't care. You can talk crazy to him, he'll laugh. He doesn't have like that backlash of hatred. He just laughs it off. He's very highly spirited. Melo is legit.
Wow.
So someone else is getting a little criticism right now is LeBron for lots of different reasons. David Griffin came out last week. He's kind of since backed off of his comments, but basically, he said LeBron isn't about winning anymore, which isn't really that dramatic when you think about it. Like, when you come to LA to play for the Lakers at the twilight of your career in a situation where you're going to be under a lot of pressure, it seems like that's not what you want to hear if you're a Lakers fan, obviously.
Right.
But it also is kind of obvious. Like, you're filming Space Jam 2 right now. Is kind of got a lot going on. What did you make of what David Griffin had to say about LeBron?
I think he kind of, once again, it's perspective, right? Mm-hmm. His perspective is he feels like LeBron is at the end of his career, and he took LeBron quotes of saying, I have nothing else to prove. Like, I proved everything, and he took it, and maybe he felt like he's not putting emphasis on winning because he's seen LeBron's commitment elsewhere. How LeBron came back to Cleveland and basically promised a championship. How LeBron went to Miami and promised like multiple championships. And that promise wasn't, I guess, verbally announced by LeBron.
Yeah, it's true. He didn't say it when he came to LA.
Like, I don't know. Did he say it? Did he not say it? Like, no. I don't know.
Magic was talking for him.
Magic was saying, like, so I don't, maybe that's the perspective. But if you are lucky enough to represent any sport in Los Angeles on any level, you have to take that to heart. It's not a lot of cities like LA. LA basketball is legendary, right? We have two Clippers who are from Los Angeles are finally home representing LA basketball. Yeah. We have 3 others who decided to creatively, it happened through the universe, however, they represent the Rockets. You have James Harden, Russell Westbrook, Tyson Chandler, 3 LA kids. Now they represent the Rockets. That's like LA South, right? So you have this love for basketball here, this infinity for basketball. Like, you have to respect that and take that on another level and carry that shield, because this city will quickly turn on you. This city will quickly turn on you. So you have to respect it, and I think he values that. I just think that perspective is from someone who's closer to him than we are.
But the Lakers haven't done anything, so having LeBron James, or in a very long time, having LeBron James in itself feels like a gift from the universe, for the basketball universe. For the Lakers to even have someone like LeBron James, obviously a culture of all-stars after all-stars, so I don't think he has anything to prove. I don't think he needs to win a championship. The mentality is to win a championship because he's out there playing. That's LeBron James.
Takes us back to the Kobe conversation. Whenever Kobe stepped on the court, he always had something to prove. Right? Last game, he had 60. He could have walked off with a cool 18 and would have been celebrated. He had 60. He tears his Achilles. He shoots his free throw. Walks off the court by himself. Wasn't carried. You know, KD is tough. KD is a tough player. KD showed how that injury really hurts.
Yeah.
Now imagine KD got up, shot his free throws, or if he got fouled and then walked off that is a difficult thing to do.
Yeah.
So anytime you step on the court, you have something to prove, because you know why? Because the other person facing you cannot wait for your downfall. Players can't wait to see LeBron start to decline so they can get some get back. You know what I mean? We're going to get some get back. I'm just waiting. And I've seen it happen time and time again. As you get older, these younger players who you torched, they can't wait for you to fall off so they can just, put you to sleep.
What about you're very involved in grassroots basketball. So you know every element from playing to coaching to organizing AAU and grassroots basketball. What do you make of the criticism that LeBron got last week about playing with his son, not playing with his son, but being out there in the layup line and everything that happened with LeBron and that criticism?
I'm very disappointed. I wish he would have jumped over like 3 kids. just line them up, just jump over and bring it home. You know what I mean? I'm very disappointed. You
really make the highlight.
Really change some kids' lives, right? You know what I mean? Just change their lives virally.
Dunked on by LeBron James.
Hey, look. There's so many former and current players involved in grassroots basketball, from coaching to sponsoring to showing up to games to cussing out referees. Like Matt just got kicked out of the game, and then even leave. He just was standing in the doorway. So he was really deboing the referee. Like, I'm not leaving the gym. I'm coaching from the doorway, right? It's just hilarious. But you're not changing that. That's been the underground world of grassroots basketball involvement, because basketball players love hoop, on every level. I don't see anything wrong with LeBron doing the dunks, being in the layup lines. Maybe running on the court, because I would feel some type of way if I was on the other team and if they keep scoring and keep running on the court. I might be too small at that time, but we're gonna have to square up. Right. You're gonna keep running on the court, celebrating.
LeBron losing fans.
You know what I mean? Yeah. You know what I mean? Like, the other team might feel some type of way, but he does a great job, to me, making sure that the optics is he really shows every team around him love. Like, even dapping up the other team, even cheering for kids who are not on his team. Like, he does a great job of doing that. So, it's what is it, low? It's high key weak. It's high key weak. It's high key weak to even criticize that. Like, let them change. Like, I wish when I was in AAU grassroots, Michael Jordan was doing dunks on the other end. What? I would have flipped my jersey and joined the team. Like, yo, how can I get on y'all team? I wish that happened.
Right. Do you think there's something to it's just LeBron and this is the world that we live in, where everything gets criticized and everything gets overanalyzed and he's a superstar and everybody has an opinion? Or do you think it's really, truly that people don't understand the culture of not just basketball, but especially grassroots basketball?
I said this before. People don't understand the culture of grassroots basketball the way they criticize LeVar.
Yeah.
Like, we went this weekend to one of the tournaments I had, and you have parents yelling, cussing, cheering, fights. Mm-hmm. It's just a part of the game.
Right.
Like, basketball, like grassroots basketball is a platform for kids who are economically challenged, this is their way to change their lives. They're willing to fight for it. Families are willing to give whatever they have for it to make sure they have a chance for a free education and a chance to get a good career beyond basketball. They're fighting with everything they have. So you don't understand. You have to understand the position they come from, where they come from, the economic challenges they come from, not even to mention like the social issues. So it's just different. It's the realest thing ever. I love it.
I love it too. All right, so let's go down to Houston. Someone that you know very well, Russell Westbrook, has joined the Rockets. I'm actually very optimistic for them this year, and I am rooting for them this year. I just want to see Westbrook win a championship. But how do you think that fits? Because you know him well, and you know that team very well. And a lot of people are skeptical of how Harden and Westbrook are really going to play together. My question is more on the coaching side. How is it going to work down the line late in the season, playoff time? But how do you think that's all going to play out?
I think Tyson Chandler is there to bridge that gap. You know, I think Russ is going to be dynamic. If you remember the older OKC teams when James was on that team, KD played the 3, Russ played the 2, James played the 1. James did a lot of playmaking off the pick and roll, and Russ got off the ball, which I think he's dynamic off the ball, right? He's more of a threat when he catches it at half court and attacks versus bringing it up trying to make a play, right? And then you really start to evolve with it. When you have 2 superstars and you have a superstar such as Russ, there's only certain people in the league that you are willing to get off the ball for. Either someone who's a vet, who you feel like mentored you. If they're of equal age, it has to be someone that you respect their game and you go back with. And James is that person. He respects him. They go back to high school. They have a relationship. They're excited. They're friends beyond the court. They're family. Right? The only challenge I see for the Rockets is not offensively, because you should get 8 to 11 free throws from Russ a game, 8 to 11 free throws from James a game. It's going to be a game where they both get 15 to 20 maybe each. It's going to be crazy, right? The way they attack the rim. The only problem I see is defensively. That's always been the Achilles heel for the Rockets. Defensively, how can they get a stop? That's when P.J. Tucker and Tyson Chandler is going to be key. But can you entice Russell Westbrook to play on the other end of the ball, because he's going to be less offensively involved with the load? If Russ focuses to be one of the best defenders in the league, he will be first team all defense, because he is an amazing on-the-ball defender. Amazing. Beyond. That's going to be the biggest challenge.
What do you say to people when he says he can play off the ball and you're saying he can play off the ball? What do you say to people who criticize his three-point shooting? Because in a lot of people's minds, playing off the ball means that you can catch and shoot a 3, especially with the Rockets, offensive system.
The hardest thing to do in the NBA is to close out and keep your defender in front, even if he is a non-shooter. If he's a shooter, it's more difficult. Imagine being in, we call it the nail, but imagine being at the free throw line, and the center of the free throw line is a nail on every court, right? Any court at any age you go to, unless the court is not made out of wood. If it's some other stuff, it's not a nail. All weak side defense has to start there. Imagine James coming down, getting a piece of the paint, kicking it out to the weak side, and now you have to make an attempt to close out the Russ on a catch with momentum attacking the basket. Whether you close out short because you don't think he can shoot, or you close out to touch, he is going to beat you to the paint.
True.
And that's where you are going to get dunks, lobs, free throws, corner threes. He doesn't have to be a great shooter. He has to be a great corner shooter, three-point shooter, right?
Yeah.
If he becomes a great corner three-point shooter like P.J. Tucker has become, then you have a serious problem. So they're going to find ways to kind of, create it and build it, but you have to really. And Russ is smart enough to realize, I got to get to the basket, because if not, James can tell him, and he respects that.
Right.
He's going to understand and respect that Tyson's going to tell him. The coaches is going to just, reconfirm what they said.
So I think they're going to be pace setters in the West, just because I feel like to get in the best rhythm, they're going to have to learn to play with each other at a high level during the regular season. How does that end up in the playoffs? Because we're talking about two people that have found early exits in the playoff, and if we're talking about Westbrook and then Harden, who is just ran out of steam near the end of the NBA season.
I don't think it would be this honeymoon or this challenging beginning relationship of them trying to figure it out. They've been playing. They played together all last summer at UCLA. They're like they've been playing together. This is not nothing new. Okay. They've been friends for maybe 10, 15 years now. They play together in Pango's All-American camp. They know each other's game. I think the biggest challenge is going to be on like I said all the time, on the other end. So when you really start to dig deep and think about the levels to this, can James Harden teach Russell how to be a better pick and roll player? To where he's creating shots, he's manipulating pick and rolls, he's finding the open man, he's manipulating the game, which I think James is the best at doing it at his position. And then can Russ influence James to be a better defender? So they can. It's like the perfect marriage. They need each other.
Yeah.
When I played with Barron at UCLA and we both was in the backcourt, I learned a lot from him in practice. Oh, damn, that's how he come off a pick and roll. That's how he makes that pass. And on the other end, I think he learned from me defensively. So we learned from each other, and we started to pick it up and started putting each other's games into our game. Whether it's the mindset, whether it's how to run a pick and roll, whether it's how to drop a bounce pass or how to get in there and slow down. We started to pick it up from each other and became better.
You have the all-time steals record at UCLA, right?
Maybe. I think so, yeah.
I think you have that, and I think Jordan Canada has it.
Jordan? Yeah, for sure. She was 8 a game now in the WNBA.
Yeah. So you mentioned PJ a couple times. You are a sneakerhead. You have a very extensive sneaker collection. I'm wearing some J's that you got me. So now I have a nice sneaker collection. Thanks, babe. And PJ is notorious. We wanted to ask you, because you always mention PJ has a crazy sneaker collection. It's kind of it's almost obnoxious. He takes up other people's lockers with all his shoes. Who do you think has the best shoe game in the league?
It's PJ Tucker. It's not even close. PJ would have 2 lockers full of shoes.
Why you can't do that? Why can't it? You shouldn't be allowed to do that.
Filled to the top. I'd be like, PJ, you got to take some of this shit home, bro. It's just shoes just flooding out the locker, right? It's like a photo shoot. And he just loves shoes. It's just his thing. But the original sneakerhead, I remember from Slam Magazine, being in Kansas City, you get Slam, you get to see around. We didn't have social media, so whoever made it, diaries was it was cold, right? Yeah. Oh man, he has a diary. It was Ray Young. Ray Young, who went to UCLA, who's from Oakland. He was the original sneakerhead. Ray Young. Look up Ray Young Slam kicks 1996. He was doing it way before anyone. I thought it was the dumbest thing ever. I'm why you collecting all these Jordans and Nikes? This is so stupid. We're trying to play Madden, bro. Collect Madden games.
He was ahead of his time.
He was way ahead of his time. Beyond.
Do you think that Zion has a potential to reach? I don't want to say Jordan status, but who he was going to sign with, what shoe company he was going to sign with was a big discussion, and he apparently took less money to sign with Jordan. You're a little skeptical. I think the thing about it is he's a big guy. LeBron's shoes are big. You made me buy you some once. They're big shoes.
You lose a bet?
Oh no, she just hates on LeBron so much. I made her buy me some bronze.
But his shoes are hard to get, though, and they're big and they're heavy. Yeah. And we obviously all saw Zion's shoe explode. So what is your prediction for Zion's shoes? Because he is with Jordan Brand, who makes meat.
I think Jordan would do the most creative, signature shoe for Zion because he's so unique. And I went to the first Summer League game when Zion played. I've never seen this before in my life.
Earthquake game.
Zion delivered an earthquake in Vegas, right?
For sure.
I've seen it. I was there. I lived it. I can add to it and create falsehoods, but I'm not going to do that. So, Bron was there the game before. Mm-hmm. People went crazy, taking pictures, media, right? Game ends. LeBron stays. The Knicks come out first. New Orleans comes out second. Zion comes out last. I've never in my life felt the energy that came into that arena when he came out on the court. Every cell phone and network camera immediately focused on him. And for the first time, I saw like LeBron looking like, damn, like the cameras are gone and this kid is here, right? So the first time they play, I think LeBron is gonna go for 60. Like he's gonna let him know, like I'm not ready to give it up yet. Like this is gonna motivate me. And it was crazy. It was like 30, 40 cameras on the baseline to watch him do warm-ups. And every time he shot a jumper, shot a layup, the crowd booed. Like, boo! Like, dunk it. And then when he dunked it, I was like, oh, shit. Like, I've never seen anyone that big and that athletic dunk with so much force and quickness. The thing about basketball, you're either fast or quick. You can't be fast and quick. If you are, you're lucky. If you're fast, quick, and strong, you're Baron Davis and Russell Westbrook, right? If you're quick, you're Darren Williams. If you're quick, you're Chris Paul. If you're athletic, you're LeBron, who is fast and athletic, not quick, right? D. Rose is fast, athletic, strong. LeBron, fast, athletic, strong. Russ, fast, athletic, strong. Zion is quick, fast, athletic, strong. He is an Avenger. Like, you know what I mean? He is out here like, he is on something different. Like, and he hasn't even got his grown man strength yet.
Yeah, he's still
It
growing.
could be the wrong combination of things too early, too, because he did play 9 minutes in that game.
He played 9 minutes in that game, but, you know, it's summer league. Like,
Okay.
and I know that staff was in Phoenix, the health staff was in Phoenix. They wasn't going to allow him to play much longer anyway.
Okay.
You know, because they want to make sure the body is right. They want to get him, make sure he lose a certain amount of weight, play at a certain amount of weight, make sure he's good. You cannot risk injury for a player, once in a generation player for summer league. You just can't. But for the time he played, what he had, like 4 or 5 dunks.
Yeah.
It was crazy.
All of them were nasty.
Like
9 minutes.
I'm standing up.
Yeah.
I'm like, what the hell am I standing up for? Like, it's like follow the lead. I'm like, I'm standing up too. Like,
Because Thanos is in the gym.
it's Thanos. Like
I know, but he does not deserve a Christmas Day game.
Yes,
I'm
he does.
sorry.
What are you talking
Yes,
about?
he does. What do you mean?
What are you talking
What
about
are you
right
talking
now?
about?
All right, I'll be on the island with this one.
You will watch it.
I won't watch it, but I don't want to see Zion Williams at that.
You got Zoe at the 1. You got
Okay,
Zion running the court.
Okay, that's
You got
okay.
Ingram. You got all these young kids
That's
is
true.
high
That's true.
flying,
That's
dunking. You know, I want to watch.
Yeah, the Pelicans. I forgot
We're
about
all
that.
gonna
Yeah,
watch.
yeah, the Pelicans. Yeah. Oh, by the way, it's Taco Tuesday. Does everybody want to do their best LeBron Taco
No, we
Tuesday
don't.
impression?
We don't want to do it.
No,
Let's do it.
No,
We don't.
You don't wanna do it?
The culture says no to
Yeah.
that.
Yeah,
what
I'm
I'm
glad
saying?
you had to say that.
Yeah,
you had to say that.
my
Thank
culture
you.
says no.
Yes.
No.
To tell LeBron, no
No.
more Taco Tuesday.
No mas.
exaggerate.
Yeah, no mas. You know, that's how that goes.
He had his fun with it though.
We had Taco Monday last night.
Yeah, I just can't take your shirt seriously anymore. Like, I just can't
I'm
do
actually
it.
surprised we made it this far through the podcast.
No, I didn't want to bring it up. You know what I mean? It's like one of those things where like you have
It's
like
our
an
100th
awkward.
This shit look
podcast,
nice,
as you
low-key.
know,
I see.
and we're being classy casual.
Like I don't even want to take it to where my mind is going right now.
What?
Because I don't.
Why?
Because I don't. Like it's okay. I'm gonna take it there. It reminds me of like Dumb and Dumber.
It
which
is Dumb and Dumber.
Which is it is.
Yeah.
So who's who?
One's dumb, one's dumb.
Yeah.
I'd
well,
probably be dumber.
Yeah.
What are the names?
I'd probably be dumb. to
What are
be
the
fair.
names? I don't remember
Lloyd.
the movie. Lloyd and who?
Harry and Lloyd.
Harry and
Oh,
Lloyd.
you guys don't
Yeah.
seen the song?
Which one? The most annoying song in the
Yes.
world? Oh, the most
Ma-
annoying.
No. Wait till I leave. Like I'm not saying don't do it now. But are you going to sing the song?
No,
I know
we
that
weren't.
you want to hear the most annoying sound in the
No,
world.
I don't. Like, but I just want to know.
I didn't take the breath I needed.
So
That's your
I
fault.
need a breath.
that's not my fault.
It is your fault. Well, thanks for coming in again. We always love having you in. And now Brandon is shaving his mustache.
Just do half.
Just have.
Yeah, just do half. Yeah,
I mean, the hair is falling in the mouth.
Appreciate you coming on. Though.
this is so strange.
It's so weird.
Yeah, I do the hair.
Come on now.
Come on, go all out.
No,
you gotta go
don't
all
do it.
out.
Don't do
Go
it.
straight
Don't
down the
listen to
line.
Earl.
Straight
Don't
down the
listen to
line.
Earl.
Like
Don't
just
listen to Earl. Brandon,
one-
no.
one
Someone
big
out there
ass
is here.
part.
Don't do
straight,
do it.
straight,
Don't do
straight
it.
down the line.
Don't. You cannot pull it off.
I'm telling you.
Don't listen to Earl. Remember volleyball?
I'm telling you. I'm telling you.
No, don't do it.
I'm telling you.
Give me that. Give it
I'm
to
telling
me.
you.
Give it to me.
You will change TV
No.
forever. I'm telling
Don't
you.
listen to him. He does this to you with volleyball too. Don't listen to Earl.
100 episodes. Who needs eyebrows?
Don't.
Nah, girl, I can't do that.
Oh my God. I was gonna drink a beer if you did it.
Why do you do that?
Do what?
Why do you do that?
Do what?
Why do you guys
I
people up
inspire
like that?
people to be the best version of themselves.
I almost took the to the head.
I knew you was thinking it. You know what I mean? Like, I'm just trying to inspire people to be the best version of themselves. Like, whatever that is, do that.
Don't.
150 episode.
Appreciate you.